And I thank God that the governor mentioned it one day, that the chairman of Uyo local government area will have to send people packing from Uyo. Because if you continue to stay in Uyo, you are paying tax to your local government area. You're doing business in Uyo, and the internal generated revenue is being added up to your local government area. And what happens to your local government area? Where will you get the fund to run the things you need to do? We're going to go into partnership. I pay for rent, and you train 2 Ibiono Ibom persons for me. Because the money we would have paid you to train somebody is what we are now using to pay your rent for you. So if you are taking off your 1 year rent, 2 years rent, you ought to train 2 other persons for us. So that by the time they finish the learning the trade, we can also develop them. We can also assist them to stand. We would have successfully taken 2 additional persons out of the streets.
In furtherance of our commitment to keeping you informed on every step Pastor Moino takes towards actualizing his Arise agenda, we are excited to welcome you to another episode of the Golden Era and You podcast. My name is Nsikanabasi Francis, and I am your host. Before I introduce our guest for today's episode, let me take this time to thank everyone following our pages. Thank you for your engagement. Thank you for sharing our posts. And we promise not to stop informing you. On today's episode, we are discussing local government administration and the Arise agenda with Honorable Otobong Aaron, Transition Chairman, Nsit Local Government, and Honorable Nsikanabasi Udobot, Transition Chairman, Ibiono Ibom Local Government Area. This promises to be an interesting discussion. Don't go anywhere.
The Golden Era and You, with amazing Nsikanabasi Francis, tracking the promise and the progress.
And today is a very special day because we have our first female guest on the Golden Era and You podcast, Honorable Otobong Aaron, Nsit Ibom Local Government Chairman. It's my pleasure to have you.
Yeah, welcome. I'm good to be here. So happy to be here to meet with you today. I've been hearing of you, but today is the first time I've seen your face, and I know you're beautiful.
Thank you. I love the green. It shows that you're fruitful. You're a fruitful vine.
Of course.
And you're looking golden.
Of course.
And we also have in the studio Honorable Nsikanabasi Udobot, Chairman Ibiono Ibom Local Government.
Thank you. Good morning. It's nice to be here.
Thank you so much for coming. 100 days in office. What has it been like for you?
100 days of an amazing management of the local government administration. It's been a wonderful 100 days, 100 days full of activities, 100 days of project execution, 100 days of getting to know your terrain, getting to meet with your people, getting to talk with your people. 100 days of God's special grace upon our life. 100 days of an opportunity given to us by His Excellency, the Golden Era Governor, Pastor Mobaseno, to do what we are asked to do for our people. 100 days of reaching out to our people, talking to our people, getting to, move the vision of the governor forward, drive down the ideas of the governor as enshrined in the Arise agenda of His Excellency. So it has been an amazing 100 days, but it also came with its own challenges. Yeah. But those challenges were unsurmountable. So we've been able to deal with the things that comes our way. And we are hoping that going forward, by God's special grace, we're going to be able to do more for our people. We're going to be able to do more to add value to the Arise agenda of His Excellency.
Oh, that's really exciting. It means that you are super pumped for this interview. But let me ask your colleague, Otobong, what has this 100 days been like for you?
100 days in office to me means turning your dreams into reality.
Yeah.
That we've been able to do by keying into the vision of the Arise agenda of Pastor Mobaseno, which is our governor, our golden governor, because he has come with a whole lot of packages, for the people of Akwa Ibom states. So by extension, have been able to turn that vision into reality for the good people of Nsit local government area by touching lives, creating job opportunities for the people of Nsit local government. So this 100 days has been an amazing month in my life and the lives of the people of Nsit local government area.
Interestingly, both of you mentioned the vision of the governor, and that makes me curious to know what your people think about the governor's policies. Now, you know, the governor campaigned with rural development, and he has been very intentional about taking these developmental strides to the rural areas. So, what do your people think about the government's policies and programs in that area?
I have seen and studied from people that have been able to see what governor has been able to do by bringing this vision to reality to the people of Nsit local government area, to the grassroots. First month, I think Nsit was the first local government to benefit from his vision by coming to flag up road projects, 11 kilometers road projects in the local government area. Yes. Secondly, he came again to flag up another road, which I said this one is just it was something that has never happened before, because we want to go back to the history of Nsit local government. Government has never gone, you know, the people have never felt the impact of government. So
this is a different
This is a different one entirely. So the people of Nsit are so excited about the vision of Pastor Ibiono. You know, just a few months ago, he came to flag of the healthcare facilities in the local government with the other road projects.
That's the one project.
The one project for local government.
So you guys have a health.
We have health facilities, yes, and the building is ongoing right now. So you can see that the people are so excited, and they have keyed in, and they have, you know, supported the idea, the vision, and all hands are on deck. The stakeholders and their hands are on deck to make sure that they protect the projects. They've been going there everywhere to see the project, how the contractor is working, and have been going there to see what the contractor is doing, and it is wow.
And like that, they're giving the contractor an enabling environment to deliver.
Yes,
the job.
Yeah.
That's very amazing. That's very interesting to hear. Now let's talk about the governor's directive that all local government chairmen should relocate and reside in their local government areas. Sir.
Let me add a little to the perception of the people about the vision of the governor. For me, the people of Ibiono Ibom are excited. We're happy that we have Pastor Ibiono as the governor of Akwa Ibom State. It wouldn't have been any other governor better than Pastor Ibiono. He has done so much for the people of Ibiono Ibom. I give you a count so you can, you know, take it. The governor has been funding the Cardinale Kandem Road, a 9-kilometer road for the people of Ibiono Ibom local government area. This road is actually linking the Uyo City with the Dakada Skill Acquisition Center, which the governor just recently mentioned that is going to start up in a couple of months from now. And away from that, the governor has been very emphatic about the general hospital that is sited at Okoita. He has given promises, commitments severally that in no distant time that is going to start up the section of the state government. Note also that the federal government had also put up a structure, a specialty hospital for children. And beyond that, recently, the governor flagged off another road, Ring Road 3 extension that cuts across the Uyo local government area, 2 villages in the Uyo local government area, 6 villages in Ibiono Ibom local government area, and 2 villages, you know, in the Ikono local government area. So the people of Ibiono are direct beneficiary of the vision of the governor. And also notes, you know, the governor said that he's an adopted son of Ibiono Ibom. So perhaps that's the reason why he's doing all that he's doing. And if you also looked at, you see that the Ibiono axis, mostly the northern part of Ibiono, happens to be the rice belt for, you know, Ibiono and Akwa Ibom State. And we've been leveraging on the initiative of the governor, you know, in the Arise agenda that has to do with agricultural revolution and rural development. And we're looking at tapping into the vision of the governor. I've had a lot of proposals on my table requesting me to communicate to the State Ministry of Agriculture and Rural Development that the people of Ibiono are willing to lease land as for the government to take up the projects that the governor so envision for the people of Akwa Ibom State to add value to the system. We can actually feed ourselves. We don't need to rely on the federal government to be able to get things done. If everybody goes back to the farm, if everybody puts their hand to plow, by the time we go into harvesting the things we've been able to put on ground, trust me, Akwa Ibom State will be feeding itself and also be feeding the South region, and by extension, can also extend it to other parts of the region. Now, coming to the question that has to do with the executive directive by the governor that all the appointees of government in the transition committee should reside within the local government area. It's been a wonderful one. In fact, I give the governor a thumb up because I have been part of those who've been advocating that people who are representative at the local level should reside within their domain. Throughout my time as the vice chairman, I've lived within Ibiono. Currently, I'm still occupying an apartment at the security village in Ibiono, where I also intend, to do my model farm, which I'm going to kickstart today. And beyond that, the governor has equally made effort to build Chairman's Lodge in all the local government areas, and lands have been acquired and survey plans has been, sent to the governor. But before then, any chairman, any individual that is appointed by the governor who has the vision of his people at heart, who is passionate about the development of his place, ought to be regular in the local government area, even when you've not perhaps had accommodation to stay. You ought to be regular, at least 7 days a week. You ought to be there 5 days a week so that the people can feel you, people can get close to you. There's this problem. And I thank God that the governor mentioned it one day, that the chairman of Uyo local government area will have to send people packing from Uyo. Because if you continue to stay in Uyo, you are paying tax to your local government area. You're doing business in Uyo, and the internal generated revenue is being added up to your local government area. And what happens to your local government area? Where will you get the fund to run the things you need to do? So it's pertinent that we go back and live in our various local government areas so that we can listen to our people can reach us as at when due, and also, so the moment the eye sees the cups, tears begin to run down the cheek. So if we stay with our people see us on daily basis, and we see the suffering that our people are going through. We'll be driven, we'll be moved to show, empathy to our people. So I think it's one of the best ideas I've ever seen in any administration, that the people who are working in the local government area must reside within the local government area.
Thank you so much. I mean, that's even an education on its own. You're literally educating the people on why they should support that idea. Thank you very much for that very profound point you have made. So the governor also, now we're still talking about executive direction, right? Executive directive. The governor also directed that all local governments should own a farm. And this is towards his drive to make food available and affordable in Akwa Ibom State. So let me ask the first female guest on our show, Otobong Aaron.
I'm beginning to get jealous.
The ladies
this emphasis on the first.
Ladies first.
It's okay. I give in.
Thank you. So, do you have a farm?
I used to see myself as, sharing the same vision with my governor. Because even before he said it, I had already started farming, yes, making plans, put things on ground for the local government, yes. Because I have enough plot of land within the council premises. Within the council premises, okay. Yes, we have a farm there.
You're doing cassava, plantain.
I have a whole lot. So I'm doing cassava. No, I'm not doing cassava because cassava we have it's our own thing already. Okay. So what I'm doing, I'm bringing there is tomatoes.
Oh yeah.
Hot pepper.
Oh really?
Yeah.
The ones I did was that if I don't see it in the market, I don't cook.
It's very expensive now, especially the green species of it. Yeah,
I think it's four for
200 naira. It's very expensive now. Okay. So I'm doing that hot pepper, the bell pepper. Yes.
The round bell pepper.
The round bell pepper for Nsit Ibom. Yes, I'm doing that.
Okay.
Then I'm doing the yellow corn, okra, yes, water leaf.
For the local government.
For the local government.
As a local government project.
Yes, as a local government project. So what I've been able to do is to bring out people from different wards, train them and group them into like cooperatives, 10-10 per cooperative. So train them. They are the ones planting the whole thing. I'm not paying anybody to do it, but I'm putting them there to learn how to farm so that at the end of it, we'll be able to empower them to go to their own different worlds. We'll go and set up farms for them in their
different worlds.
In
You're
different
going to
worlds.
replicate that across
Yes,
the world.
across, yes.
That's
in
very
different
interesting.
words.
You're
Yes.
doing well. I'm proud of you. As this is Women Support Women, I'm proud of you.
Oh,
but I
thank
hope
you
the
so
local
much.
government chairman of Ibiono is not still feeling jealous about this. Okay, so
You shouldn't feel so that because I'm
You
a woman,
support us.
there must be a difference between a woman and a man.
So now,
Sometimes, you know,
let's ask you, sir, on the subject of farming.
All right, so like I mentioned, I'm happy that you women have not finally colonized the discussion to make it women's affair. But beyond that, you recall, I served as vice chairman in the immediate past administration, and there's this initiative I've been running before the governor even made mention of us going back to the farm. There's this initiative, Yarinam Boirong initiative, is a pet project I use in enlightening young people and also getting them to use their hands to do something and not, crashing on people's gate every day and trying to look for people who put money in their pocket. While I served as a vice chairman, I had over 20 young persons trained on agro farming and all of that. I sent them to excursion. I helped them with slings and open up farms, little farms for them to manage to be able to, expose them to the nitty-gritty of farming. And I'm carrying that forward to my time now as a transition committee chairman of Ibiono Ibom local government area. If you visited the local government headquarters of Ibiono, we have over 2 hectares of land unused, and we've been using it to do, petty farming, minor things. We used to share it among the staff of the agri department to farm. But we were remodeling it in line with the vision of the governor. We're trying to see how we can clear it and then begin to do mechanized farming. We intend to cut it into 3 sections. And let me also remind you, today I'll be flagging off farming season, 2024 farming season for the people of Ibiono, and we'll be using that local government as a model, to show to the people of Ibiono that it's not an exclusive business for people who wants to go into farming, because God created man naturally to be a farmer.
Yes.
You recall, for us who are Christians, when Adam was created, he was left in the garden to watch over the garden. Even the woman that was created later on was also added to Adam to be in the garden. So it has always been the original, the first provision that God had given to man. So it is important, for us to take into what God has given unto us. So we've already had a design, and I'm partnering with Farmers Association of Nigeria, Ibiono Ibom chapter under the watch of Dr. Peter Umana. We intend to do a model farm in the local government area. And recall, the governor said it vertically the last time he flagged off the Ring Road 3 extension road, that he does not need all these stories we are telling, that he specifically said Ibiono Ikono, Uyo, and by extension other local government areas. Look, I'm coming to see your farm. I'm waiting for the day you call me to come and see your farm. So I want to be the first, in the list of those the governor will visit to see my farm. So I am not waiting for him. No, the Bible says it is not the one, that run it. It is the Lord that showeth mercy. So you never can tell what will happen. And that
There's room for overtaking.
no, there's room for overtaking. And let me also say, there are hands that are gifted hands. By the time they touch things, you can imagine that. So in fact, I am thinking that I should be allowed to go so I can even start it so that
You're even daring me. The way you're talking, you're daring me.
But you don't have a choice. I'm a man.
Yeah, so
Okay.
I love the excitement.
So that's
I love the
it.
excitement, and it's soothing to hear that before the governor even gave this executive directive, that you guys already started this.
Yes.
It means that the governor took his time. He did not just pick this chairman, by mere thought. He did thorough thinking. He probably had seen your
Putting the right people
and the scorecard.
But he has been a very meticulous person.
Yes.
He has been a very meticulous
I'm really
person.
impressed. You've really justified his choice of local government chairman in your various local governments. Okay, now moving to talk about the third tier of local government in Nigeria, which is the local government. And we know that you are all small governor in your rural areas, right? They see you, they see the governor, right?
Of course.
So now we know that the governor is running his administration with the Arise agenda, which is the economic blueprint of this administration. So what are you doing to consolidate on what the governor is doing? What are you doing to help the governor actualize his Arise agenda? So let me start with you. So you say it's not a woman's thing.
The moment you go into a place and there is a vision clearly spelled out, model, designed, you see, you don't have difficulty in bringing them into execution. That's the truth. Because I read a book some times ago. It said, look, if you have a vision, write it down. By the time you write it down, you memorize on it, you look at it, you know, what are the disadvantages, what are the advantages, you know, it gives you that sleepless night because you'll be thinking at all times how to bring these, you know, dreams to reality. So for me, the governor had already laid a foundation for us. It was just for us to stand on it and begin, you know, to make exploits. So for me, when immediately I came into government, I looked at it and said, look, what can I do to support His Excellency's dream of transforming Akwa Ibom State into a mecca state in Nigeria and, you know, Africa? So I say, look, the first step is human empowerment. Look, if the people are not empowered, if somebody is hungry, you can't even get the person to think straight. Talk less of doing that which is right. Most of the vandalization we're having, most of the restiveness we're having is as a result of the fact that young people are not gainfully employed and some of them are not doing anything. So I looked at the model that the federal government did when they first came into government, the direct and unconditional cash transfer. I said, how can we move away from just giving people money? So I took a tour of markets around Ibiono Ibom government area and interacted with people unknowingly to them because I disguised unknowingly to them. I was picking names of people who are doing, you know, small businesses that if you give 20,000 naira, if you give 50,000 naira, if you give 100,000 naira, it can add value to them. So we were able to pick the first 100 young people who are actually the movers and the shakers of the economy within Ibiono Ibom local government area. And a stretch of 3 months now, we have been transferring directly, not through a middleman, to them the sum of 20,000 naira. And as of today, it's to the tune of 6 million naira to help them boost their businesses. You can imagine the excitement on the faces of this person. Beyond that, we also look at people who've got, who've learned trades and also perhaps they've got something doing. A lady approached me during the Ibom Christmas Unplugged and said, Che, look, I have learned how to do hair and I've got the machines and all the equipment needed, but I can't pay for rent because it's a bit exorbitant here in New York. Che, if you can assist me pay for rent, I would be very happy. I said, look, I'm not only going to assist you pay for rent, we're going to go into partnership. I pay for rent and you train 2 Ibiono Ibom persons for me. Because the money we would have paid you to train somebody is what we are now using to pay your rent for you. So if you are taking off your 1 year rent, 2 years rent, you ought to train 2 other persons for us. You know, so that by the time they finish the learning the trade, we can also develop them. We can also assist them to stand. We would have successfully taken 2 additional persons out of the streets. Now, when we undertook the renovation of the secretariat, I said to all the artisans we brought to do work for us, look, anybody that I'm giving job here, you have to train 1 or 2 of our indigenes for us because we cannot afford this idea of going to strange land to bring people to do certain specialized job.
Yeah.
You understand? So the man in charge of painting has taken 2 young people because he produces the paints and also do the painting. So I'm sure that by the end of 1 year, 6 months or 2 years, 2 persons would have been trained in paint making, and you know, I wouldn't need to go to outside of the local government area to hire people. These are the things we are doing. Not also, His Excellency did not just ask us to do our farming. He equally asked us to support local and rural settlers to do farming. You discover some. I comes from a very remote part of Akwa Ibom State. Idoro is in the northern part of Ibiono. We have a boundary with Cross River State, and our major state of economy is farming. Now, what I've been able to do, which is what I'm launching today, is to assist them. Somebody came to me and said, "Che, look, if I have a cutlass, machete, if I have it and a file, I'll be able to clear my farmland." I said, "How much is machete?" He said, 5,000. I said, "So are you now asking me to give you 5?" He said, "Che, if I have 5,000 naira, I won't come here again. I'll be in the farm clearing. In fact, I'll be clearing for others and they will be paying me." I said, "Okay, go and take 2 of the cutlasses. If it's just this is the problem." He was so excited. He was so excited. We've gotten fertilizers, we've gotten slings, cassava stem, yam. We are going to give it out to people today, so that we can help them clear their farm, plant these things. And by the time we go into the harvesting season, we would have completely crashed the price of food items in the market. And this is going to go a long way to support His Excellency's initiative, to crash price. And you recall,
food sufficient, and
he just launched the sign into law, the bulk purchase. So by the time he is selling there, we also have enough to sell at the local government area. People will be trooping into Akwa Ibom State to buy food, and there will be more money in the pockets of our people.
It will also reduce economic flights, because I sell food. Almost everything I get, they're like, "Oh, they're not back from Cross River State. They went to buy plantain. They went to buy this." So it's very, very to be a big relief to even food vendors like us to know that what I need is in Ibiono. What I need is in. You have bell pepper is in Nsit. Okay, so before I let you both leave the show, let us talk about the governor himself now. The man, Pastor Moino. Who is he? If someone asks you, "Tell me about your governor," what will you tell the person? And then you now add that to your parting shots to the viewers, what you want to tell them about the Arise agenda and the Golden Era administration. So let me start with you. It's not always ladies first.
You're now bribing me. I'm not tempted by things like this. You see, if somebody asks you about the governor, it's a straight up question. Just like it was said in the Bible, "Behold, this is a true son of Israel. In him we find no lies in him." The governor is a man who say a thing and live up to what he says. He's a straightforward man. He's a humble man. He's the only person who's been in government as a man of God, and he lives up to the title that has been so accorded. You see, he speaks with humility, and when this kind of messages drops, he will never go until it fulfills that which it was sent to do. So the governor is a man of peace. Today, as I speak with you, there is no other political party in Akwa Ibom State than a political party called Akwa Ibom State.
Yes.
That is what the governor has been able to achieve. He does not care which political party you belong to. He does not care whether you voted him or not. He is out to make sure that he turns things around in Akwa Ibom State. He's a man that is sent by God to rescue Akwa Ibom at this material time.
So please, what's your parting shot to
the people of Akwa Ibom State? Let's support His Excellency. Let's stand by him. Let us encourage him. Above all, let us pray for him to continue to do the things God has sent him to do. It can only get better. And I hope that when we do this, the happy hour will come to.
It's already here. So please, the question I asked him, I said, "Who is Pastor Moino?" and your parting shot to the people watching.
Should I say? Is it a question? Because of my colleague have been able to answer everything. To make it short, Pastor Moino is God sent to Akwa Ibom people. I have seen that for him to become the governor of Akwa Ibom State is divine. Because looking at the qualities, looking at the visions that he has come up with, you know that this is divine from God. Because his own ways are exceptional. His doings are exceptional. it has never been this good before. The way he talks, the way he speaks with boldness, with confidence. He doesn't even look at your face, who you are. He will just tell you the way it is. And that is who a true leader should be. Not being afraid of anybody or being intimidated, or because of what you stand to benefit from one person, you refuse to say the truth.
Yeah.
And this is far away from Pastor Umobasi. He is divine, he's God sent. He's a man of peace with complete humility.
Okay, so what's your parting shot to your audience?
What I can tell the Akwa Ibom people is to love Pastor Moino, key into his vision, support him, both physically and spiritually. Pray for him to succeed, because all his dreams is to see one Akwa Ibom, not divided Akwa Ibom. And if we do this, things will get better.
What an interesting conversation we had here. Oh, I just want to say a big thank you to Honorable Otobong Aaron and Honorable Nsikanabasi Udobot.
For the first time, you're getting the name right.
To the glory of God. For coming on the show and just saying all these things with so much passion. Thank you for joining us.
Thank you. It's been a nice return.
I've heard you, and they will give Pastor Moino the necessary support he needs to succeed as the governor of Akwa Ibom State. This is where we draw the curtains for this episode of the Golden Era and You podcast. Please continue to follow our pages and ensure that you engage us. Let us know your thoughts about every episode we air. My name is Nsit Francis, and I'll be here next week to make sure that we keep informing you on this government development. Thank you for staying with us. Bye.